Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is Monday, August 29th. In this video, we are looking at the DraftKings Fanduel and Prizepicks picks for baseball. So let's get into it. We have 8 games on DraftKings starting at 6:40. Fanduel has a few less games because they're starting at the usual time, 7 o'clock. But we've got some good teams to target today. Got some couple of good pitchers. So not waste too much time. If you enjoyed the videos, appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe if you have not already. Next Thursday started off with the NFL season with the kickoff, so probably this weekend I'll start busting out some NFL videos and really get into that because I know you guys are excited for that. I'm super excited for football. Not only is it favorite sport to watch, but it's also just very fun for DFS with all those big contests. So first game up today on DraftKings, we have the Cardinals against the Reds. High total, Chase Anderson, former Brewer. We know back when he was with them, he was giving up a lot of fly balls, a lot of home runs was his problem, and he's going up against one of the hottest teams in the National League at this point. Lots of power in this lineup, especially in the middle with Goldie, who's running for that triple crown of the National League. Arenado, you got some cheap guys in there as well. Donovan's been crushing it too, so I love the Cardinals stack. They are the best stack on DraftKings today. Next game up, you have two solid pitchers. Pablo Lopez has been up and down recently, but still the Dodgers are not on my team to stack today, on my list. Just playing in Miami, not a good ballpark to hitting. Next game up, we have the wind blowing out in Toronto. So Jose Berrios has always been risky this year. He has a 5.28 ERA. He's given up some good games. He's given up really bad games, like -10, -12 fantasy point games we're talking about. The Cubs aren't really a team I worry about really getting to a pitcher. But with Berrios being super inconsistent, he makes sense as an SP2, but nothing more than that. And then the Blue Jays bats definitely look good today. You can stack this team, go with some of the cheap guys at the bottom, or pay up for Vlad, pay up for Springer. I like Gurriel at 44, so he's just pretty affordably priced compared to the rest of them. Twins also look good against Brian Bello. He has over a 6 ERA, and there's a lot of cheap guys here. You might have a 2K hitter batting 5th and Nick Gordon. Everybody below him is under 29. 4 guys or 3 guys are right at 2K flat. Max Kepler's been doing better recently. He's only $3,100. Correa's been good. And Luis Arraez is just a hit machine. Corbin Burns, one of the top pitchers of the slate. He's 10-4 going up against the Pirates. He looks solid, as well as Carlos Rodon as one of your SP1s today. He's at home, wind blowing out a bit, but this Pirates lineup not scary. So don't mind him. Brewers stack also looks solid. Expect them to have a high total once it does get posted against Robert Stevenson. Should probably be like a bullpen type of game for the Pirates. And the Brewers, Christian Yelich, 7 hits in his last 2 games. He's been crushing it. Cheap guys here. Tellez with power. Even the bottom, you have some cheap guys to consider, like Narvaez at the catcher position. Mitchell at 2K, but he's batting 9th potentially. Yankees against Jose Suarez, Judge, Stanton, lefty mashers would be there, especially Stanton. You have other guys like Josh Donaldson at 4K, Gleyber Torres, if he's in there at 38, looks solid. Phillies, look at these righty bats like Hoskins, Bohm. Castellanos been a lot better recently. He would be on my list. And then Suarez also can be an SP1 or an expensive SP2. And then finally, we have the Padres against the Giants. Should be a pitching matchup today, but I do like the Giants to win with Carlos Rodon going at it. Padres just have not been doing good recently, and Rodon has owned the Padres this season in his 2 starts. So going back to DraftKings, I'm giving me Carlos Rodon at 10-9. He's just been awesome, just with the strikeouts this year, 189 strikeouts in 147 innings. Last time he faced them, he had 12 strikeouts, I believe, or 10. Let's see how many he had. Yeah, 12. My bad. Complete game, 12 strikeouts. Other meeting, he went 6 innings with 6 strikeouts against them. But in general, 1.8 ERA against the Padres. And at home, Rodon's been a beast, 6-1 with a 1.86 ERA. Sign me up for that. Your second pitcher, you can pick from a wide range of options. You can go with Suarez or Mikolas as pay-ups for an SP2 position. You can go down a bit for like a Frankie Montas. Or Berrios if you're still feeling a bit confident in him. But I like Montas a bit better. He's $7,200. Last couple of games, he's gone 90-plus pitches, so that's encouraging. He's still, when the Yankees traded for him, he was banged up a bit. But it seems like he's starting to get back to full strength, going over 90 pitches, and he's getting a great strikeout matchup against the Angels. This year he's been right around a strikeout per inning, but we know he has the ability to do a lot better than that. This year he has 14 strikeouts and 7 2/3 against the Angels, so I really like his over strikeouts or his over fantasy, all that stuff on Prizepicks. Looks good, him and Rodon. First base, going with a pay up in Paul Goldschmidt. Just what a beast at $6,200. Looking at his last 10 games, he's batting 366 with 4 home runs. Just absolutely carrying it. He's up to 33 bombs and 105 RBIs. With Chase Anderson giving up a lot of fly balls, expect some of these guys to get a hold of one, and Goldschmidt really solid. Next up at third base, I like his teammate Brendan Donovan, who's also been really, really good in his last 10 games. He is batting .421, so he's really seeing the ball well. He's up to almost a 300 batting average. He's projected to bat second, which would be great for him. Just getting those extra at-bats on the road, potentially 5 if the stack does go off, but you're getting to a cheap guy in Donovan and an expensive guy in Goldschmidt. Those would be a couple that I really like on that team. Other opponents to stack or other teams to stack would be like the Blue Jays and Lourdes Gurriel. He's $4,400. He's struggling a little bit recently, 178. He's not been great with the home runs, but he is rocking a 5-game hitting streak, so still batting average is not really shying away at almost 300, batting over 295. If you're looking at some Twins, you have like Luis Arraez, Max Kepler. Those guys are in the mix. But I also do like the Brewers today against the Pirates pitching staff, and one guy that's been red hot has been Christian Yelich. He's $4,100. 410 in his last 10 games with a couple of bombs. He is 7 hits in his last 2 games, make that 7 of 10 with 2 bombs, 5 RBIs, just 1 strikeout. Really seeing the ball better. He's still down in terms of home runs this year. Even last year he was struggling a bit, so hopefully he's starting to turn into the hitter that he was a couple years ago. But really like his price tag at $4,100. Can't really go wrong there. You have potentially some Phillies to consider. And finally, in the outfield spot, you have like Nick Castellanos. You can consider going up against the lefty at $4,300. You also have like Lourdes Gurriel in the mix. So those two would be ones to consider if you wanted to go all the way down. I really do like Lars Nootbaar as well at $3K. I'll put him in, and then you can probably pick one of these other 2 guys there. But Nootbaar, ever since he's been batting leadoff, he's been crushing at .324 in his last 10, with a lot of extra base hits, some home runs mixed in as well. And $3K is just a great price tag for a team that has the highest total on the slate. And other teams would be the Blue Jays and the Phillies and the Twins for me on DraftKings at least. And the Yankees, I guess you could throw in there as well. But definitely the Cardinals are a priority. So that's it for DraftKings. Go over. So on FanDuel, it's a bit different because we only have 6 games. We don't have the couple of games starting at 640. Pitcher, you're looking at Corbin Burns or Carlos Rodon as your pay-ups. I'm sticking with Rodon on both sides. He's still similarly priced to Burns, but the way that he's pitched against the Padres, I really like. So on FanDuel, we're looking at the Phillies, the Twins, the Blue Jays, the Yankees as the teams to stack. Forgot to mention the Brewers as well. First guy up that I wanted to mention is first base option. We have like Hoskins at $434. He looks good. If you wanted to keep going down, you have Rowdy Tellez at $28. With the power that he can give you, the batting average isn't the highest, but really for him, we're looking at home runs. He has 27 on the season and probably some good opportunities at home. Wind blowing out to continue that today. So he's definitely somebody that I really like just based on his price tag. At third base, if you're looking at a Philly, it would be Alec Boehm at his price tag. He is pretty affordable, $3,200. Righty lefty matchup. I'm not too fond of like Harper and like Schwarber lefty matchups for those guys, but getting a guy like Boehm who's been great since the All-Star breaks, had a couple of monster games, been a hit machine for most of July and all of August. So going up against Madison Bumgarner, I think he'll be able to continue hitting the ball well. In the outfield, so I'll get back to Christian Yelich with how good he's been recently. Still $3,200, affordable. And you have Lourdes Gurriel, who's pretty cheap if you wanted to play him. Castellanos is there as well. Like Lourdes Gurriel, 28 looks solid. And then you have like Kepler at the bottom if you wanted to go with him. But I'll go with Gurriel on FanDuel at 28. It's really affordable for a guy that's probably going to be batting like third. And even though he's been struggling a bit recently, he still gives you, still rocking a 5-game hitting streak, can still get those RBIs, get those runs scored with them expected to put up some runs at home today. So that's it for DFS. Go over to Prizepicks. So some strikeout props I like. Tony Gonsolin over 5 strikeouts. He has a 23.7% strikeout rate. Just a lot of Ks in this Miami lineup. At the bottom, 3 guys north of 23%. If you look at just the last 30 days or so, he's up to still a 24% strikeout rate for Gonsolin. And I got some more guys K'ing a lot with Brian Anderson and Birdie there. General, a 21% strikeout rate. It's a pretty even matchup between righties and lefties, looks like. Actually, maybe 6 righties, 3 lefties. And Gonsolin's been a lot better at striking out righties, so hopefully it's at least a push, if not a complete clear for him. Another over strikeout prop could be Corbin Burns at 7.5, and he's struggling a little bit with his strikeouts recently, but the Pirates team is just a different story. You have O'Neal Cruz striking out 40%, Brian Hayes 32%. In general, it's 23%, but you don't even have Suzuki's numbers in here, and a lot of lefties, and he's striking out lefties 27% of the time. Last 30 days, look at this season, it's a 31% strikeout rate, over 32% against lefties there. So that could definitely be one to make it a second strikeout prop, but I'm going with Carlos Rodon is still one of my favorites. That's only 6.5 for him with how much upside he gives you. He had 12 Ks against them earlier, so love his number. I love Ranger Suarez's number at 4.5, but I like his fantasy as well. Look at Frankie Montas over. He's faced the Angels a lot. This year, 14 strikeouts in 7 2/3. So, especially with his pitch count going back up, I think this could be the day where he gets close to 100. And Angels strike out so much. If we look at their numbers here on Plate IQ. So there are a good amount of pitchers today for it being a pretty small slate, at least in good matchups. This year, 23.9% strikeout rate. 31% for Trout this year, 30% for Ford, 42% for Adele, 33% for Stassi, 36% for Velasquez. So many strikeouts in this lineup, it's pretty ridiculous. So I like Montas for sure. Pitcher fantasy score would be looking at 27.5 for Ranger Suarez. I mean, he's been awesome for them since the All-Star break. He outpitched Max Scherzer one of the days against the Mets and let them get the win. The Phillies did. So if you like his numbers, you can go to these other studs like Rodon if you wanted to. Corbin Burns at his number. Tony Gonsolin if you're not looking at his strikeouts. But these 4 I really like. In terms of nerfies, not any of these ones I feel great about. So I'll probably pass on them. If I had to pick one of these 5, it would be probably the Angels one. Just because they're playing in that ballpark and at least I expect Montas to pitch really well, and Suarez has pitched well, at least early on. Sometimes he kind of leaks oil later. But to make this a 5-pick prop, they'll give me over 7.5 strikeouts for Corbin Burns against this Pirates team that will strike out a lot. So that's it today for the videos. Thank you for watching. Best of luck, and I will see you all next time.